So bad news yesterday for Tampa Bay, Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. Leonard Fournette, a real source of comfort for Brady, is out for the season. Add to that, Chris Godwin out for the season. Linebacker Lavonte David, he's gone. Giovanni Bernard, a good running back. Tom likes the run. He likes play action as he's aged. He's out. They've got Mike Evans is week to week. He'll be back. But it's interesting. Tom Brady was always great in New England at those big night games. You ever noticed how bad he is in those night games in Tampa? Why? That's weird, right? Because as Brady is aged, and this happens to lots of people, you become a little less flexible, more a creature of habit. So as Brady went to Tampa, he had to move his family, schools, wife, new coach, new system, new teammates, new culture. So Tom was seeking comfort. He went after Gronk really hard. And he wanted a big running back, a veteran running back. He went after Leonard Fournette really hard. So Tom this year is 7-0. Well, Leonard Fournette, he can hand off to and gets 50 yards. Tom leans on that. Because when your world, and you're a creature of habit, I am, when your world is giving you all this new stuff, you seek comfort. The small, tiny, dependable spaces of comfort. Tom was a great night quarterback in New England. He's terrible in Tampa. He gets off his routine. He is seeking routine now. It's why I would consider, with all these injuries, sitting Gronk for the rest of the regular season. Here's a stat for you. In his 9 losses in Tampa, his only 9 losses in Tampa, it's mostly been Brady unraveling. He's missing a teammate. He's out of his comfort zone. He's had 14 picks in those 9 losses. 6 multi-interception games. In his last 9 losses, a couple years ago in New England, he had 0 multi-interception games. Why? Because he was a creature of habit and he was surrounded by things that he knew were there. Josh McDaniels, the offensive line coach, Bill Belichick. It's the same owner. It's the same drive to work. My kids are in the same school. Tom is a creature of habit. And in Tampa, he's got all these variations, all these variables. And if you're a creature of habit, I am as well. When that happens, you seek dependable. So he wanted all 22 of the starters back after winning the Super Bowl. He desperately wanted Leonard Fournette, a power back. He desperately wanted Gronk. And now what you're doing is you're taking this stuff, Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Leonard Fournette. Now you're taking stuff away from him. I don't think it's good for him. He unravels much faster in Tampa. All the numbers tell you. In the 9 Tampa losses, the Bucs turnover differential is minus 11. In the last 9 New England losses, the turnover differential, 0. He does not have Belichick's defense to save him. He does not have the comfort. And when something is taken away from him, he unravels much more quickly. So I do not think this is good news for Brady, and I think he knows it. Matt Stafford became the fastest quarterback in NFL history to throw for 50,000 yards.
Yeah.
And I was just like, what? Matt Stafford, that's 12 years in Detroit. And I'm thinking, is Matt Stafford the greatest player on a bad franchise ever? And then I thought, no, he's third. Barry Sanders 1, Calvin Johnson 2, Matt Stafford 3. And I talked about this with Derek Carr yesterday. I mean, Matt Stafford he's going to make the Hall of Fame for 2 reasons. One, all he needs is wins. He's going to get those with the Rams. So he's going to put up huge numbers for the next 5 or 6 years. He's only 33 years old. So, I mean, he's going to be fine. So he's going to put up big numbers, and he's already 12th in passing yards. So he's going to finish like top 5 in passing yards, top 6 in passing yards, and he's going to win a bunch of games. I wouldn't be shocked if he won a Super Bowl. I mean, this year right now, they're as good as anybody, maybe except Green Bay in the league. I mean, they're really good. Kansas City, Rams, Green Bay, Arizona's reeling, New England's limited, Buffalo off the hill. I mean, it does feel like they're really good. But this is what I said about Derek Carr. Derek Carr's not asking for Bill Belichick. He's asking for competency. Derek Carr is going to have a 6th coach in 9 years here in about 3 months. And so whenever Aaron Rodgers goes into his, Hollywood, I'm a victim, needy mode, I'm like, Aaron, you've had 45 Pro Bowlers in Green Bay since you started. 45 years of Pro Bowl players, 13 on offense and 13 on defense. Think about that. Aaron Rodgers has had 26 Pro Bowlers who have made 45 Pro Bowls as he's been there. So when Aaron gets needy, I'm like, I roll. Okay. Literally, Matt Stafford got to 50,000 yards in that Andy Dufresne tunnel in Shawshank Redemption. Like, it's one of those stats where it literally caught me off guard. I was like, what? Peyton Manning didn't... it's incredible to me. And, whereas college football has a transfer portal, NFL doesn't. You get trapped. And you got to be a bad guy. You got to go out and say, listen, I've been very lucky in my career. I worked in Las Vegas. It's a great station, great ownership. I worked here at ESPN at Fox. I worked in the Pacific Northwest in Portland. I've been very lucky. I only worked one place in my life that had bad management, and it was just a mess. It wasn't any individual person's fault. It was just a bad culture, and that was Tampa, and I could just leave. In fact, I kind of forced myself out after about a year and a half. I'm like, I'll break my contract. Come sue me. I got to get out of here. I don't like bad bosses, bad cultures. But, Matt Stafford, that number, and it's funny because you get trapped, right? Like, that's the thing. The harder you work as a college athlete, the worse team you go to. That's why Mac Jones better buy Bill Belichick a really nice Christmas gift, because you cannot land any better than Mac Jones got that defense, that coordinator, that coach, that owner, that O-line, that running game. And then they spend a bunch of money on offense. It's like, Mac, do you understand how lucky you were? Look at the draft order this morning. This is the current draft order. Jags, Lions, Texans, Jets, Giants, Panthers, Jets, Falcons, Washington. I feel bad for some of those college players. Those are losing cultures. And, when Matt Stafford's doing that, that is a shocking stat. Fastest quarterback to 50,000 yards. I was just like, misprint. It can't be possible. And he did not grow up. Those 12 years, a lot of that was maybe the last 4 or 5, we become more of a passing culture. But a lot of that, when he first got into the league, it was, the rules have just gotten looser and looser and easier and more accommodating for offense. They weren't his first 4 or 5 years in the league. So that's impressive. That is really impressive. Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.